marketing BS,
bad.
Joey. That's just marketing BS. Hi.
Hey everyone, welcome back.
Howdy.
Oh, hiya, howdy.
Mukbang time.
Why are our intros always so weird?
Yeah.
Why can't we just say hi, welcome to the video?
We're weird. What do you know? What do you say? You know? It's an eating show, guys.
Yes.
That means you have to grab some food and eat with us.
Yeah, pause the video, go and get some vegan food, and let us know what you're eating.
Yes.
You think it's the first time we've done this, like, you know.
Some people may be watching for the first time.
No, I mean me. I forgot
us,
the line.
yeah.
I forgot the script. What am I doing? All right.
You want
let
to
us
know? Yeah, let us know what you're eating. We're going to let you know what we're eating. Today we've got tricolored rice, brown, red and black. And over here we've got some edamame, which are soybeans that have not yet dried. So they've come straight out of the pod. And before they...
Did you shell them, by the way?
I shelled them,
wow.
yes. So I bought them in the pods and I shelled them. So we've got edamame, and you've got to try them if you haven't before. They are
so
fantastic.
Yummy.
Very, very yummy. And we've got some black beans, some fresh tomatoes, which actually are steamed, so they're not fresh anymore. Morning Glory green vegetable. We can't see it really well on mine, but I think you can see it a little bit better on Natasha's. Anyway, it's a green vegetable that is grown very well here in Southeast Asia, not so much in the West.
It kind of looks like swamp muck at the moment.
But it's really
good and
really,
good for
really,
you.
really good. Yeah. Great source of iron and
Yes.
protein. And I've put some herb and garlic seasoning in there, as well as some soy sauce, lime juice, and paprika.
Yum.
So that's what we're having. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm really looking forward to this, actually.
Yes, you made this the other day and it was so good.
But did we have this combination of black beans and edamame when I did it last time? Or is it just black beans?
I think I think it was just black beans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's nice. And do a happy edamame dance.
Let us know in the comments below if you've tried edamame before and if you love it.
Yum. So this is a whole plant foods meal, correct?
Yeah.
We got all whole foods here? You happy
Whole
with that?
foods, yeah.
Tick.
For anyone who doesn't know what whole foods are, quite simply, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts and seeds. They're whole plant foods.
Yum. Very healthy. Very clean.
This is oil free. We're going to talk about that more later on.
Yes.
It's also low sodium. I've only used a little bit of soy sauce,
It's yum.
but very flavoursome.
Really good.
Like when you cook the black beans, these are canned black beans, by the way. But I find that some canned beans aren't cooked enough for our liking.
Yeah.
And
recook
also
them.
not for our digestion as well.
Yeah, sometimes they're a little bit hard when they come out of the can.
Sometimes, depending on the brand. So I like to recook the canned beans. And when they cook, the black beans, they give off a little bit.
Of smell? Like a nice smell?
It's actually like, it's almost like the outer layer of the bean gives off a little bit of, I don't know what to say.
I don't know, what does it give off?
It's not, it starts to break down a little bit and form a little bit of like a sauce.
Oh, okay. I had no idea what you were talking about.
I don't know how to describe it. Yeah.
I understand, right.
Like it sort of thickens them up a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it looks all mushy, and it is. This is our whole foods mush, right? But it's really great. Super tasty, super healthy.
But
all right.
I didn't cook the edamame beans for as long as the black beans, so I find they're a little bitier. Yeah, so it's a combination of mush and bite.
More mush than bite.
That is tasty.
Yeah. All right, guys. We have a huge video. Before we get into the response, we want to announce that we are going to be in Bangkok, Thailand on the 29th of October, Saturday. No, that's so wrong. Cancel.
The 20th of October, October 20.
I've got something else in front of me for something later on.
So anyway, it's going to be a full day of activism.
Did I say September or October?
I think you said October.
Oh
if you
my
didn't
God,
say it,
start again.
It's October the 20th, which is very, very soon. So we'll be in Bangkok, Thailand for a full day of activism. The day we got planned goes like this. We're going to get together for a meet, greet and eat. It's like a potluck. And then we're going to have an activism workshop. And we've given this workshop in the US, the UK and Ireland this year. It's been very well received. People are saying they found it educational, motivational, inspirational. They felt empowered to be more active for animals, which is the whole purpose of the workshop. So that's fantastic. So If you've never done any form of activism for animals before, come along, learn. If you have, come and learn new things anyway, because we find it doesn't matter what we attend,
Always
even if
learn something
you
new.
always learn something
Right.
new.
And we know that there are a lot of vegans in Thailand, in
Yes.
Bangkok specifically. So this is a great opportunity to, as Lucas said, learn more about how we can be active for animals. And if you're just passing through, because of course there are so many tourists in Bangkok, if you're passing through and you happen to be there on Saturday, the 20th of October,
Correct.
come along anyhow, because you can learn things that you can take back to your home country and,
right.
and participate in activism back, wherever you come from. So lots to do. In the evening after the workshop, we're going to have an Anonymous for the Voiceless Cube of Truth
Yes.
in Bangkok.
Exactly.
So you can put into practice what we talk about during the workshop. See how it's
Perfect.
all perfectly orchestrated?
And then afterwards we go out for a great vegan meal.
Yay!
Dinner. Awesome.
More food.
Fantastic day of activism and socialising with other vegans.
Yeah, and learning and
It's
sharing.
open to everyone, vegans
Yeah.
and non-vegans alike.
Absolutely. Come along. We're going to link the event page from Facebook down below in the description under this video. Read all the details there. Mark yourself as going if you are. And of course, share it around with any other vegans in Bangkok
Yes.
that you know of.
Or
that
anyone you
think
know
might
that's going to be
interested.
in Bangkok on that day.
Yes. So that's very exciting. Please share that around.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
See you there.
Okay. Is that that?
Mm-hmm.
Can we move on? Awesome. Today's response video. Oh my gosh, we weren't planning to do one. It's Sunday.
We just
Usually-
recorded one yesterday,
I
and you
know.
were busy editing it, and then we got all of these requests for
And
another one.
Sunday's usually our podcast day, and that's been put on hold because we had so many requests. So it's just like, whoa, what happened to our
So
weekend?
if you've subscribed to the podcast and you're wondering where it is, it's coming.
It's coming just a bit
There's a couple of
delayed.
mukbangs in between.
All right, so our response video today, much requested, is for Joey Graceffa.
Joey Graceffa.
Wow.
Almost 9 million subscribers Joey has.
Huge
Massive audience.
channel, huge influence.
And he's put out a video saying, why stop being vegan?
Yes. Why, Joey? Why? All right, we're going to get into this.
We're going to get into it. The title is problematic in and of itself, which we'll get into later on.
Okay, so I've got notes because it's big and broad. But I wanted to give context to this.
Yes.
So before we get into his most recent video, we're going to look at a video that was from the 29th of September. See?
There you go.
Okay.
And that was titled, Eating Solid Food for the First Time in 3 Weeks.
Yes, so basically Joey has had a lot of problems with his health, and he's been suffering from Candida on and off. He said in this video that he'd had it like the 4th or 5th time, and
Turned into a bacterial infection in his mouth, and he had to cancel his book tour because of his health. So this is serious. It's really impacted Joey's life.
he took some, footage of what was going on in his mouth. And that's just awful, like it's serious, because, some people are thinking, oh, you're just being a hypochondriac,
No.
whatever. No, this was real. This is awful. So
And
it just did not look good. And it affects, of course, like his mental state and his
Yes.
emotions, because it's
Yes.
not fun being sick. Now, this was so bad that he couldn't even eat. That's why he made that video. He couldn't eat solid food for like 3 weeks. Even just taking in fluids and blended food was really painful. His tongue touching his mouth was really painful. So as you can see, basically he had like thrush in his mouth.
Yeah. For anyone who
it's
doesn't know,
awful.
thrush and candida, it's a yeast infection.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I can really relate to this.
Yes.
I suffered from candida for 7 years, and it was absolutely debilitating in so many ways. It's terrible, the symptoms. Mine was actually on my genitals, not my mouth. They're the two most common places to get it. Anyway, absolutely, really affected me mentally, physically. It affected emotionally affected our relationship. And that was because we were trying everything during the course of that 7 years to fix it. Oh my God, I've left my list. All the things I tried.
Wait, pause. List. Got it.
List for later.
Okay, so basically it was a really bad period, and because you've had this personal experience,
Yes.
we can respond to Joey from a place of experience.
Exactly. So
right?
disclaimer, we're not medical professionals.
No.
However, I did suffer from candida for 7 years.
Yeah.
So I know it intimately.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, now, we felt like as we were...
And I don't have it anymore, obviously.
Yeah.
I haven't had it for, it's cured it in
Wow.
early 2014, so it's been 4.5 years Candida free. So after having had it for 7 years.
Yeah. Okay.
So I told my Candida story in a previous video, didn't I? It was actually a response video to GABBIE HANNA, who's actually another YouTuber here with a huge audience, 6 million subscribers. And Joey is friends with HANNA.
Exactly.
She's got one of those names where both the surname and the first name
can be
are
a first name.
names. Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of like when we were putting this little video together for Joey and cutting up his story, we were listening to it and we're like, deja vu, we've had this discussion before. And the reason why we tell Luca's Candida story is because so many people can relate to it, so many people suffer from it.
Yeah.
And when,
the reason I brought it up in the response video for GABBIE HANNA is not because she was suffering from Candida, but it was because she was suffering with health issues and she was constantly seeing doctors and specialists and she was getting the runaround and she was getting really sick and tired of it and it was affecting her emotionally.
Yeah, she was crying.
Yeah.
Like she didn't know what to eat at that point. It was 2 years ago.
To that so
and you
much.
could relate to it because
that's why I mention it.
Yeah, so basically we're like, all right, we've already told this story on the channel 2 years ago, but we're going to go through it again because it's just a constant thing when people are really struggling with health problems.
Yeah.
So, but whilst we're on GABBIE, actually, we're going to digress just a little bit.
That's what we do here on this channel.
Of course.
As it turned out, we made a response video for GABBIE very recently because she tried a keto diet for a week.
And that didn't go well for her. We made a response. And what happened was...
She tweeted us.
She said, "A vegan couple, I'd like to try veganism for a week to do it properly. Would love to chat. Email me." Wow. And everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, that would be great. Maybe you can collab or help her out, whatever."
Yeah, so of course we got an email contact with GABBIE.
Yeah, we emailed her. She emailed back saying this is what she needed. We emailed her back with a long list of details and things, and let's start working on a meal plan, but we had some questions, etc.
And that was a bit over a week ago now. And
no, it was more than a week
ago.
Yeah, and then we never heard back from her. So a week after we sent that, we followed her up. We're like, "GABBIE, what's going on? Everything okay? Let's do this."
Yeah. So
and
if you guys
never come back.
No. So if you guys really want to see this collab video between GABBIE and ourselves, where we help her try a vegan diet properly for a week,
let her know.
Yeah.
Let her know, GABBIE, we're here. So we try, we really, really try. Sometimes it feels like you're pushing.
We're here to help anyway.
Uphill.
We're here to help.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So,
all right, back to Joey.
Why do we bring... Oh, yeah, we brought that up because you've told this story on GABBIE's original response video 2 years ago. GABBIE and Joey are friends.
Yeah.
Hey, what about if GABBIE and Joey did a week-long vegan, healthy, good
healthy
experiment with hey, you want to do that? Let them know about it.
And the reason I say healthy vegan diet is because there's so many ways to eat a vegan diet, isn't there?
There are
Just
so
as there are
many ways
to eat a non-vegan diet.
Yes, and that's a lot of what Joey has been doing.
A vegan diet isn't healthy by default.
No. So, okay, we're going to get into that later. So we digress. Back to Joey.
We're good at it though.
We're so good at digressing. And it's a mukbang, so it's like open range for digressing.
How good is this?
I know it's really good, but I'm going to be talking more than eating in this. So, Joey made a video late September saying basically he hadn't eaten solid food, he's been in a lot of pain, he's trying to get over this Candida thing. He even, did you mention that he couldn't even travel for his book tour?
Yes.
So seriously affected him in a lot of ways. He breaks this 3 weeks of not eating solid food with a mukbang, but...
It's a junk food mukbang.
Yes, now this is the thing.
It's vegan junk food.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it healthy just because it's vegan, it's still junk food.
But to Joey, this is like
he called
healthier or healthy version.
Yeah.
Of
a mukbang that he normally does.
Yeah.
Because sometimes he'll eat candy and
he
stuff.
He eats like really bad stuff in his mukbang, real junky junk stuff.
So it was healthier relative to that stuff, but it wasn't healthy.
Not healthy. So the kind of thing, he went to Veggie Grill. Now this is awesome that he's showing that you can get this kind of food as a vegan.
Yeah, Veggie Grill's a vegan franchise in the United States, if you're not aware of what it is. We've been several times, haven't we?
Well, when we were in the US, Veggie Grill for us was like junk food. That's our junk food, because this is how we normally eat, focused around whole plant foods.
Can I add something to that, though? There are healthier options at Veggie Grill, which we used to get more often than not when we went.
Yes.
So, for example, there was a rustic farm bowl. I remember it.
Special.
There were sort of like a white slash navy slash cannellini beans, if I recall correctly. Rice, whole grain rice.
Farro.
Oh, farro, yes, farro. Oh, if you haven't tried farro, it's fantastic. And I really like
potato.
it.
All right, it was a
sweet
good one.
potato. We'd add tempeh to it, and there was like a broccoli pesto dressing as well, and also some red chili pepper sauce.
Oh my god!
Anyway,
yeah,
this
so
was
it was
really
a healthier
good.
option.
Yeah.
But what did Joey eat when he broke his 3 weeks of not having solid food? He ate
Burgers, brownies.
A burger. He had a burger. He had a brownie. He had a slice of pizza. He had French fries.
Yeah.
He had less than optimal foods, to say the least.
Yeah, not what his body needed.
No, he did have a salad on the side, which was really good, but
Proportionally to the rest of the food.
it's not great.
No.
And so, he was talking about having very low immunity. So his immune system is just shot, and this is what he needs to build up to be able to, to fight any illness in the body.
Exactly, but junk food, vegan or not, is not immune boosting.
No, so what
Immunity boosting.
What would be good to eat is stuff like this, more whole plant foods that are going to be gentle on your body, that your body's going to be able to just cope with and get some nutrients from and get better from. So he was also talking about that he's a very stressed person, and of course when you're stressed, that doesn't help your immune system either. So he was really kind of focusing on not being stressed, which is great, but if you're still eating junk food and fried food, then that's a real problem no matter how kind of zen you are in your mind. So it's both. And this is the thing. When it comes to health, this is holistic. This is why it's not just about what you eat, but it's your lifestyle, it's everything.
Yeah, just pausing the video here, guys. We wanted to record this note and add it in because we forgot to mention it, that if you're interested in our health and lifestyle guide ebook, you can get it at a discounted price.
Just go to our website, thatvegancouple.com, subscribe to our website for free, and you'll be sent an exclusive discount for our health and lifestyle guide ebook.
And keep in mind that the guide also includes a copy of our recipes ebook too, so it's really good value, especially with a discount. If the subscribe option doesn't automatically pop up when you go to our website, just hit the free gifts button in the menu and you can subscribe from that page.
And we'll also send you a heap of other free gifts, like a shopping guide video showing you how we eat a healthy, cheap and sustainable vegan diet, and a delicious recipe plus a guided yoga class video. So we'll link everything in the description below. All right, back to the mukbang. Now, what you eat is the majority of the, what we should be targeting.
But there's also other factors like sleep, hydration, emotional state, mental state, and
so many things.
Yeah, so I know that when we're on our activism tours, for example, and we're having late nights due to the late finishes of actions that we were doing, and then early starts to the actions. So we're getting less sleep than we ordinarily would, even though we're eating quite well. The eating quite well helped us cope, but it didn't replace the sleep.
Yeah, you didn't feel right in your body. You were just more susceptible to feeling, sleep's important. So basically, you don't know exactly what someone's eating consistently all the time.
Or how they're living. And we have to look at everything. We have to look at everything that's being put in their mouth, or things they're drinking, any medication, anything at all. Yeah, health is a symphony.
Exactly. And this was, again, it's similar to Gabbie's story from 2 years ago, where we feel really sorry for people because
We've been there.
We've been there.
We've been on that merry-go-round of what is wrong with me? Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? Why am I experiencing the symptoms I'm experiencing? Most people would do anything within their power, with anything within their means, to fix any health problems that manifest in their bodies. But when you don't know what the causes are, and you get the runaround, and they are prolonged and drawn out and protracted,
it's just torturous. And the worst thing is with in Joey's case now, he's so desperate that he's gone back to eating animal products. So this is bad because obviously animals are now going to have their life taken for something that's not going to help Joey anyway.
No, so it's lose for Joey and it's lose for the animals.
Yeah, and the planet, and of course with 9 million people watching him, they're getting the wrong message.
Misinformation.
Yeah. So, TBC are here to help.
Not because we're medical professionals, but because we've been there, and me specifically with Candida.
All right, so let's get into this. First thing is Joey was eating a plant-based diet. Of course, veganism is more than just a diet. It's an ethical connection. And he was also, we've heard from people who've been messaging, would slip in some non-vegan or food, some animal products during that time as well.
Yeah.
So he was eating a predominantly plant-based diet, but he wasn't vegan for 3 years.
Yeah. And when you're saying veganism is about an ethical connection, for anyone who's wondering what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Basically, it means not exploiting animals for any purpose. So So not for food, not for clothing, not for entertainment, not for testing, not for the pet industry.
Yeah.
Those are the main ways in which we exploit animals.
It's about a lot more than just what we eat.
That's right.
Or who we eat.
Diet is the main component because that's where the majority of killing of animals takes place. But all those other areas also involve exploitation or killing of animals.
I start out with my morning shots. So this Candida shot has apple cider vinegar, ginger, cayenne, oregano oil, Pau d'Arco, which is actually really good to fight Candida, and Himalayan salt. And then you guys can just read the rest of these.
Been there, done that. Deja vu, big time. Is it time for the list?
Go on.
Alright, guys. During the 7 years that I suffered from Candida,
Brace yourself.
I saw multiple doctors and specialists. I tried 3 different pharmaceutical antifungal creams. I tried herbal tinctures and pills from Balinese and Tibetan traditional healers. I tried fasting and colon cleansing twice daily for a total of 3 weeks. I took countless expensive probiotics, colloidal silver, coconut oil, barley grass and wheatgrass powders and shots, apple cider vinegar, activated charcoal, spirulina, oregano oil, hydrogen peroxide, thieves essential oil diffuser, bicarb soda, fermented foods, water kefir. I tried visualization and NLP techniques, and I also tried urine therapy. That's what I did in 7 years.
Yes, you heard right. You
urine
drank his
therapy.
pee.
I drank my own urine for 2 weeks, I think it was.
That's how desperate.
That's how desperate I was. I tried everything, and none of that worked. So what Joey's trying right now didn't work for me at all. Tried all of that stuff. None of it worked.
The one thing you didn't do was try animal products.
That's right.
Right?
So, yes, I suffered from Candida for 7 years. The first 4.5 of those were as a non-vegan, right? So I was eating animal products and I had Candida for 4.5 years. Hence, Joey, eating chicken or any other animal product is not going to be the cure for you. For your Candida. And then I suffered...
And he's not just eating animal products for the Candida though. He's eating animal products to boost his immunity, to put on weight. We're going to get to that later on.
Yeah.
But again...
So for the first 2.5 years as a vegan,
Yeah.
which was the last 2.5 years of my Candida, I was also suffering as well.
Exactly.
That's because I wasn't eating a healthy vegan diet. Well, I was eating what I thought was a healthy vegan diet, which we're going to get into.
And then, to get my probiotics in, I will have this Cocoa Yo Living Coconut Yogurt. This only has 1 gram of sugar, 2 technically because it's 2 serving sizes. Has a lot of fat, but that's okay because I lost 15 pounds, so I'm trying to get that back. But it's healthy fat because it's coconut yogurt.
Okay, so this is where we open Pandora's box, and this is the most confusing thing for people to get their head around, but it's super important. This is exactly the mentality that we used to have and do. Stock up on probiotics and no sugar. So Joey's doing the Candida diet, which is basically, low to no sugar. Do you want to explain? Wait for that play.
Yeah.
That rhymes.
It does. To learn why too much dietary fat, not sugar, is the scientifically proven root cause of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes, watch this mind-blowing video. The dietary theory I followed to get rid of my Candida is equally mind-blowing, suggesting that too much dietary fat, not sugar, is also the root cause of Candida overgrowth for similar reasons. Simply put, too much fat in the blood impedes the movement of sugar out of the bloodstream. If fat levels stay chronically elevated due to a fat-rich diet, sugar remains in the bloodstream, thus providing the naturally occurring Candida colonies an unnaturally constant supply of food, potentially resulting in Candida overgrowth. Put simply, sugar is only a problem in the presence of high fat. So, to get rid of my Candida, I ate a completely oil-free, low-fat, high-carbohydrate vegan diet based on whole plant foods. My macros were at least 80% of my calories coming from carbohydrates, including lots of fruit, around 10% from protein, and around 10% from fat. In fact, in the beginning, it was around 5% fat. I plugged in what Joey ate for this day into Chronometer, and his macros were roughly 50% calories from fat. So there's a massive difference between the 5 to 10% calories from fat that I ate to get rid of my Candida and the 50% calories from fat that Joey ate on this day. And eating this way is also what boosted my immune system because I too had low immunity. So Joey, take home message, lower the fat and focus on whole plant foods.
Yeah.
So as a vegan, I was eating too much fat. I was eating too many avocados, too many coconuts, too many oils, too many nuts and seeds.
Coconut oil, my gosh, we would have that so much.
Yeah.
Right? We went through a real, more of a high raw phase where, we wouldn't eat bread, but we would make our own bread.
Out of nuts and seeds.
Out of nuts and seeds and putting in a dehydrator.
Yeah.
So it was raw bread, it was all living foods. Yeah, well, your Candida was never as bad as ever.
During that
it was
period,
just like, whoa, lots of oil. Again, people think that coconut oil is great.
Coconut oil actually promotes heart disease as well as being bad for type 2 diabetes and Candida.
Yeah.
We'll link a video in the description below about coconut oil promoting heart disease.
We were also having...
Which is our number one killer, by the way. We'll talk more about later.
Lots of avocados, lots of coconut meat and coconut milk. We would be making our own plant milk. We would just have very high fat diet, and also we did a lot of probiotics. We did a lot of the fermented foods. We'd make our own
Kefir, water kefir.
water kefir, and also what was that other stuff? Sauerkraut.
Yeah.
We'd make that.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, as I said, all of those things that we tried. And more often than not, those things like water kefir, probiotics, what was the last thing you said?
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut. They tended to bloat me.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
There's a
particularly the
lot of-
probiotics. And they were expensive as well. And I went through so many, thinking they were healthy, helpful, beneficial.
There's a lot of debate about, there's basically like two camps. A lot of people say you've got to have more probiotics, you've got to have all these fermented foods, they help with your gut bacteria, they're going to help with candida and bloating and all that. We found the exact opposite. Now, I remember I started taking probiotics because we did this fast. It's colon cleansing and fasting. I did it to help support you. I didn't have a problem with bloating before then, and then we came off the fast and we had to have probiotics to replenish, blah, blah, blah. I've never been so bloated after that time. That totally screwed up my digestive system. So we found the opposite to what they often promote.
Yeah. What will promote a healthy intestinal flora is actually eating whole plant foods.
Yeah.
That's what creates an optimal microbiome. Okay?
And it might take time. The more of this
absolutely
stuff you
takes
put
time.
into your system, the longer it might take
Yeah.
to work itself out.
That's right. And maybe you've had a history of medication, which is
Yeah.
obviously terrible for your intestinal
Yeah.
flora, especially antibiotics.
Yes. Alcohol?
And of course, maybe you haven't even consumed many antibiotics directly yourself, but 80% of the antibiotics in the world are actually administered to livestock. So if you've been eating animal
Animals.
products your whole life, you've by default been filtering antibiotics through the bodies of
Animals.
animals. Yeah.
All right, let's move on. This is going to be a long video. Sorry, but it's very detailed. Oh, where are we up to? Okay.
This was something they sold on an Instagram ad, but it's allegedly something that will help relax a bloated stomach, and it has probiotic in it. So I mix a teaspoon in here. You know what? I'll just show you the end result. Yum! Poopy!
Again, more probiotics, yogurt, so we're looking at high fat, and the yogurt has probiotics too. So there's this massive boost of probiotics first thing in the morning. He eats that whole jar of yogurt. That's a lot. That's high fat, and again, a lot of probiotics. And just because you found something advertised to you on Instagram, don't go just buying this stuff and
There's
trying it. It's
a lot of
so
gimmicks.
many-
There's a lot of fads, particularly lightweight, expensive, shippable stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And the more of that stuff you put in, the more your body has to try and work out and deal with, and you don't know what damage it's causing, and then it has to recover from that. It's just...
all that stuff is all foreign to the body.
Today I'm having pancakes! I'm going to the gym today, so it's good energy to have, and these are paleo pancakes. They're grain-free, dairy-free.
But they're not egg-free. These pancakes have egg in them, which eggs are, obviously it's an animal product, very high fat. Now
Not to mention very cruel.
Of course. Now also, this is a processed food. So again, if we want to boost immunity and we want the body to heal, we should be eating an optimal diet, which is whole plant foods.
Steering clear of the processed packaged stuff as much as possible.
Buying, pancake mix in a packet is not optimal right now, especially when you're trying to boost your immunity.
Now I just kind of realized I can't have maple syrup or agave or anything sugary, so I don't really know what I'm gonna do for a topping right now, but I'm just gonna put some more of my favorite yogurt on top.
More yogurt, more fat.
This is the problem with high-fat diets. They are very hard to sustain long term
Yeah.
because your body naturally craves carbohydrates because carbohydrates are most efficiently converted into glucose of all the 3 macronutrients, and glucose is the body's preferred energy source, and it's the brain's exclusive sole energy source outside of starvation mode. So you can do it short term, very challenging to maintain long term.
I want to try a new recipe, a Candida recipe for smoothies. It's called the Shamrock Shakes.
Now, personally for us, smoothies are a disaster for our digestive system. We get bloated, we get gassy, I get constipated.
Yeah,
they don't work for us.
We find the little air bubbles that form because it becomes aerated when you're using a high-speed blender.
Yeah.
Those little pockets of air don't tend to digest so well for us.
And-
If they work well for you, that's okay.
Well, even when we pulse the smoothies and try to minimize those little
Yeah.
air bubbles, I can't do smoothies. So again, for optimal digestion, maybe try not doing smoothies.
Yeah, for people who are having issues with digestion, if smoothies don't work for you.
Yeah.
As you know, my favorite yogurt, I found a new flavor. This is the raspberry flavor.
Oh, more coconut yogurt. Oh my
More
God.
yogurt, more probiotics, more fat.
Those pancakes I had earlier definitely had a reaction with my stomach. I'm very sensitive, so I got bloated really quick from those pancakes. I don't really know what, because they were gluten-free, grain-free, all the things free, so really that shouldn't have happened.
Okay, so
Remember, they had eggs in them, so they weren't animal product free. They weren't vegan, so that's one issue there. You know, animal products are not designed to be consumed by the human body. I just want to get this clear, if we could, right off the bat.
Yeah, go for it.
So, even though we behave like omnivores, physiologically, anatomically, biologically, we actually have the characteristics of herbivores. The reason we know that is because atherosclerosis, heart disease, which is the #1 cause of death of human beings, is only a disease of herbivores. No carnivore, no matter how much saturated fat they're given, will ever develop atherosclerosis.
or omnivore.
Or omnivore. So therefore we are herbivores because atherosclerosis is our leading cause of death.
Yeah.
So eggs or any other animal product is not designed to be consumed by the human body for optimal health. Just because we can eat something and can digest something doesn't mean it's optimal for human health.
He said again, the pancakes didn't digest very well. Again, it's a processed food, you know? So stick to whole foods.
And
Let your body heal.
Yeah, I want to just add to what I just said before, which was, so we know that we're designed to primarily eat plant foods for optimal health, right? Based on what I just described. Within the plant kingdom, different plant foods are going to digest differently for different people. So some people are going to be great with legumes, some people not so great with legumes, for example. But we all are optimally designed to eat plants.
Yeah, so there's going to be differences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The differences will be amongst what plant
Yeah.
foods work well
Like,
for...
example, lentils for me bloat me. Like, if I have too many lentils, poof, I'm
Yeah.
pregnant. You
I
can't
find
take
quinoa, corn, chia seeds,
all the little
flaxseed
grains
meal,
you can't do.
they constipate me.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like the taste of them, but
Mm.
I notice a difference in my digestion and bowel movements.
Yeah.
Okay, so this recipe has 3/4 cup of spinach, a bit of coconut milk, a whole cucumber, half of an avocado, and some mint.
So again, we're going for more high fat with the avocado and the oatmeal,
Coconut yogurt?
no, it was milk.
Oh, sorry, yeah, coconut
milk.
Was coconut almond milk. There, that's how I yeah.
Right? Now, all those foods are fine. It's the
The cumulative total of all of those high-fat foods that are the issue.
Especially when you're dealing with something like Candida. You want to keep
Where
it
the root
low
cause is
fat.
too much fat.
So this is a new protein powder that I have been trying out. It's actually a bone broth protein powder, which has a lot of really good nutritional benefits, especially for your gut. I'm also going to be adding in some collagen peptides, which also is really good for your gut and healing it.
Marketing
This is
BS,
bad.
Joey.
This
That's
is
just
bad.
marketing BS, saying that something is good for the gut. Has it been scientifically proven? How are the bones, how is broth made from the bones of animals, good for your gut.
And collagen, good for your gut. This is wrong. This is wrong.
Again, lightweight, expensive, shippable products. You really got to question all of those.
And the cruelty.
The cruelty is
right?
off the charts.
Come on, this is wrong. You don't need that. If you want to take a protein powder, there are vegan protein powders. There is plenty of ways to get more protein from plants into your body.
Yeah, and just on that, like some people find that protein powders tend to bloat them.
Absolutely.
So if you're having bloative and digestive issues, maybe, check out your use of protein powders.
Again, why are we introducing these more processed foods that are foreign to the body? When we want to heal, when we want to boost our immune system, we need to stick to whole plant foods. It's natural for the body.
Yeah, and whole plant foods are a combination of all three macronutrients, carbohydrates, fat and protein, whereas things like protein powder tend to be isolated macronutrients, so just protein, or oil is just fat, or sugar is just carbohydrate. We want to steer clear of those isolated macronutrients.
It's not part of the recipe, but I need some more protein in here, so this also has 20 grams of protein for 1 scoop, and this has, I believe, 10 grams? 18 grams for 2 scoops. Wow, lots of freaking protein today.
Why do you need that much protein? You don't. This is a myth that people think they need so much protein.
Very effectively propagated by the animal products industry because their products are high in protein, for example.
And
so they
protein,
really push that down our throats. They've been shoving it down our throats since the 40s.
Exactly. Protein from animal source is so bad for us. We're going to recommend a book called
Proteinaholic
by Dr. Garth Davis. Excellent. Read that. Learn about this. This is dangerous. We mentioned it was cruel as well, but
animal protein is scientifically linked to promoting cancer.
Yeah, this is crazy, Joe. You don't want to be putting this into your body. And this brand here, I just want to mention, what are they called?
Vital Proteins.
Right. So we had a look on their website. They're actually they're from Brazil. And they promote their grass-fed, pasture-raised, free-range, organic cows that they get the collagen from. This is really, really bad for the environment. They've actually got a propaganda video on their website that's saying the opposite, that this is good and we're doing great things. I'll link it, you can watch it. But we're going to refer back to this later on because Joey starts talking about animal food, animal products and the environment, and just wait for this because there's a massive contradiction with what he's saying and what he's doing.
That smoothie actually settled really well in my stomach, so I will definitely continue to make that smoothie for sure.
Just ditch the bone broth and the collagen and replace it with a vegan protein powder, for example. And if smoothies work for you, continue them.
And make it low fat as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So this is just the kinky quinoa combo. So it just has free-range chicken, quinoa, kale, cucumber, carrot, red bell pepper, cayenne pepper, and green dressing. So this is what I'm gonna have. But I also have been craving Brussels sprouts the past week. So Daniel made Brussels sprouts last night for dinner. So I'm about to have some leftover Brussels sprouts.
So that's a fantastic meal. Bar the chicken, bar the animal flesh. Why don't you just put tofu in there? Or tempeh or something if you want to, or some legumes. Just why include
animal
the
flesh,
animal
Joey?
flesh? It's really sad, Joey. You don't need to do this.
Not that bone broth or collagen or eggs in the pancake mix are any better. They're all the same.
That's right.
They all involve the needless killing of animals who don't want to die.
And then to drink, I'm going to be having my water, but also a cocoa kefir, ginger, turmeric little drink that has a lot of probiotics in it. So I'm trying to get as many probiotics in as possible, and the best way to do that is by live. So fermented foods like fermented coconut, fermented beets, kimchi, stuff like that's really good.
Everything we spoke about before, we've been there, we've done that. That's not necessarily the answer.
No, just tend to your inner garden of intestinal flora and probiotics and microbiome by eating whole plant foods.
And worst case scenario, it actually makes it worse. It can make it worse.
Yeah, it certainly made my bloating and digestion worse when I was suffering with Candida.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going to get into the bit where he's talking about eating chicken.
I actually haven't had chicken in a really long time. I was kind of vegan for the past 3 years, and then since coming back from Japan, I started implementing chicken.
Okay.
As we said earlier.
Yeah, so Joey wasn't vegan. You can't be kind of vegan. You're either vegan or you're not. We've got a very informative, detailed, half-hour-long video on that. So please watch that. We'll link that in the description below.
He was eating a mainly plant-based diet.
Yeah.
Implementing chicken back into my diet like once or twice a week. And it's actually provided me a lot more energy. I feel like I was always told like being on a vegan diet is supposed to give you more energy, and I think at first maybe it did, but after a while I was just always so tired. No matter how much B12 supplements I had, I got my blood tested and I ranked super high on B12, so it's not like I was deficient in B12 that would make me tired.
All right, so there's a few things here to clarify. So energy is about calories, and not only just the quantity of calories, that's the main thing, but also the quality of those calories. So Joey said that common misconception that a vegan diet will give you plenty of energy. Well, a junk food vegan diet, which, you know, when you look
seems like what he
you look
was
at the
eating.
mukbangs that Joey shows, and
And what he thinks he got a semi-healthy meal from Veggie Grill after 3 weeks of not having solid food. We're like, that's our junk food mukbang video, food.
Yeah, so that type of food is not going to be giving you great energy. And also, if you don't eat enough calories, which is the number one mistake that most people who try a plant-based diet fall into, because they sit down to the same volume of food that they would when they've been eating animal products. And of course, plant foods tend to be lower in calories per bite. So to get the same number of calories, you need to eat a greater volume of food, particularly if you're eating stuff that's lower in fat, yeah? Because animal foods tend to be higher in fat.
So basically,
Fat has twice as many calories, more than twice the calories of carbs and protein.
You eat animal products, you eat some chicken, and all of a sudden you feel like you got more energy because you're eating so much more in terms of calories, which equals more energy.
I just think my body personally just needed it just every so often.
Yeah, no,
There's no difference between your body and any other human being on the planet, Joey. We're all the same internally in terms of
anatomy, physiology, biology. Really, the only things that matter, as like I said before, we're all designed to eat plant foods for optimal health. Science is telling us that. It's just what plant foods digest best is going to differ between us, but that's it. That's like saying certain horses, should eat hamburgers and other horses should eat grass.
all other species of animals eat the same diet, right? We're just another species of animal.
Yeah.
Now, your body is no different to anybody else's in terms of that chicken is going to be increasing your chances of heart disease, of some types of cancer,
type 2 diabetes, and some other leading causes of our death.
I don't really want to get too far into the whole vegan, non-vegan stuff, but for me personally, I don't necessarily like supporting the meat industry at all.
So, he's got a conscience here. He knows what goes on in the meat industry. He doesn't want to be doing this.
He's feeling conflicted, isn't he?
He is, and this is where I feel really sorry for him because he's suffering himself in terms of his health and he just doesn't know what to do, and he's like, well, is this the last resort? If I want to feel better and I want to boost my immunity and I want to gain some weight and I want to get over this candida, maybe I have to eat animals again, and that's just not true.
It's actually increasing his risk of developing the leading causes of death, like you've said.
Yeah.
And it's further perpetuating the root cause of his candida symptoms, which is too much fat. So more saturated fat from animal foods like chicken, it's only going to make matters worse. And obviously the chicken loses their life and it's bad for the environment. So it's just lose all round.
This is free range and it's organic.
He's trying to
Justify.
make himself feel better now. Free range and organic mean absolutely nothing. They're just labels by the industry to
make us feel good about our bad habits.
right? All those animals, not only are they still living in horrific conditions, but irrespective of their treatment, they all go to the same place, a slaughterhouse. It's a house of slaughter. They are going to be hung up by their ankles, their legs, like all the other chickens from all the other factory farms or caged farms or whatever you want to call them, and they're all going to have their throats slit. They're all going to have their bodies chopped up and sold to customers who think, it's got a free range label, it's humane, it's organic, it's okay. It's not okay. It's the exact same process for that animal and it's doing the exact same damage to your body.
It's not food, it's violence.
That's right. That flesh still contains cholesterol and saturated fat. And and animal protein. Those are the things that are so damaging to us. It doesn't matter whether that animal was in a cage or not or what they were fed. saturated fat and cholesterol and animal protein are still in the flesh that we're consuming.
And I'm trying my best to, you know, gain some weight back and eat healthy. This is the easiest and quickest way I know how, because being vegan is very difficult. I'm constantly bloated, dealing with a lot of gut issues.
Being vegan is not difficult, and I'd say you're bloated and dealing with gut issues because of the crap that you're eating on a plant-based diet. You know, if, as we said before, if the mukbangs that we see and the things that Joey has said are any indication, he's eating a lot of really crappy stuff. He loves French fries. He's addicted to French fries. I understand that. That used to be my weakness, actually. Now I have French fries all the time. I bake them in the oven, oil-free. French fries can be a staple of your diet. But don't fry them in oil. That's when you just kill it. That's so bad for you.
And we've got a recipe video on our channel for how we make ours, don't we? Which we'll link in the description below.
Yes, so I'm not surprised that he's thinking, oh, it's too hard and it doesn't do me any good. What are you eating, Joey? Focus on whole foods. Cut the oil. Bake stuff in the oven, oil-free instead of frying. All of those things make a difference.
And eat a higher protein diet based around whole plant foods as well. So you just saw a whole lot of black kidney beans, black beans, edamame beans, whatever type of legumes you like that are, you know, higher in protein, and then go to the gym and lift heavy. And those two things together
even, you know,
help you gain weight.
Yeah, baked tofu or steamed tofu,
because they're a little bit higher in fat,
exactly.
So there's extra calories per bite. It's going to help you gain weight more easily.
Things like that.
You know, my health comes first. I'm sorry to the chickens that, unfortunately, I'm eating.
And this is the sad thing. It's this misconception that eating the animal foods will actually help improve Joey's health, when in actual fact, the opposite is true.
Every time I eat chicken, I just feel so bad, and I just like take a moment. I know it sounds weird, but thank the chicken for giving their life.
The chickens don't give their life, Joey. Their lives are taken. These animals don't have a choice. They're not willingly sacrificing themselves to end up on your plate.
We've been at a live market where they've collected the chickens with a metal hook by their feet, and the chickens have tried to avoid that metal hook, but ultimately the human overpowered them, and then they're hung up by their feet and they're flapping their wings, they're trying to get away, and then they were taken inside, shackled, and then we saw them have their throats slit. The point is, they resisted the entire time. They resisted their capture, they resisted being taken to the slaughterhouse, and then they tried to resist while they were shackled. So they're not giving their lives.
It's really sad to think about it, because when you buy chicken, it's like what, $6 to $8 to $10. Oh, it's just like really sad to think that chicken's life is only worth $10. Like their body and just their death was only worth 10.
Yeah, it is sad, and this is where again our heart's going out to him, because he knows this and he feels bad about it, but he's so desperate to help himself that he thinks he has to do this. The reason why animal products are so cheap is because they're subsidized.
And also the industry is able to externalize all of their costs. We'll link a video so you can learn more about that.
Let's try it, okay? Let's just... Delicious.
Yeah, no one's saying it's not delicious. We don't stop eating animals because they're not delicious. We stop eating the flesh and the secretions of animals because it's cruel and it's wrong and it's violent and does a lot of damage to us as humans as well as the planet, and obviously to the animals.
I would actually recommend that you guys watching cut back on how much meat you do consume a week.
So at this point in the video, we're really glad that he has this chat with his audience, because it's an important message for 9 million people to hear. And yet it's kind of like you've just introduced animal flesh into your diet. You're eating animal flesh in front of your audience whilst telling them to cut back on animal flesh. So it's a mixed message. It's really kind of hypocritical at this point, Joey. You want to be that example of being a healthy vegan or a healthy plant-based diet person, you know, rather than junk and getting sick or having to go back to animals.
Especially red meat. Just because cows, the whole process of what it takes to feed a cow just requires so much energy and resources and grain and food to feed them. It really does play an effect on the environment.
Yes, it does. And ironically, this is where I said we're going to go back. The collagen product that he's using as I said, this is coming from cows in Brazil that are raised on free-range, organic, open pastures, you know, where the rainforests are chopped down for grazing land. So exactly what he's talking about, he is directly supporting, consuming, and now promoting to 9 million people.
And animal products, irrespective of whether we're talking about red meat or whether we're talking about white meat from chicken and fish and what have you, are not sustainable in an optimal relative sense. As the lead environmental consultant for the film Cowspiracy, Dr. Richard Oppenlander tells the European Union in the video that we're going to link here. And by optimal relative sense, we're talking about when compared to plant foods.
And just go back to the collagen. Even if you don't eat red meat, but you're consuming or using something from a cow, same thing in terms of the environmental impact.
And also, their poop and their farts are causing gases to be put into the air, which sounds funny and stupid, but it's actually true. It is affecting our environment, and
yeah, it absolutely is. So, again, the collagen has got to go. Those the bone broth, you know, if that's coming from cows, I don't know, but you can't be consuming these products and then sending out this message that it's bad for the environment and you shouldn't do it. You're doing it, Joey. You're now being part of that system. So. And
again, whether or not the bone broth is coming from cattle, cows, or other animals, again, animal products doesn't matter where they come from, are not optimal relative to plant foods in terms of their efficiency of the uses of land, water, grain, etc.
Even if you cut back like one meal or one day out of your week where you don't have meat, it really will make an impact and really help.
Okay, so this is interesting because recently, as so many people have already heard, the United Nations released a report that said
we have 12 years to limit climate change catastrophe.
So that is not a long time, and one of the leading factors to climate change is actually animal agriculture. So reducing our consumption of animal products, specifically meat, has been around for a long time, right? Do meatless Mondays, cut back, vegetarian, all of those things that people say they do, but this is a new report that's just come out. So there's two things that we've got to consider here. Either people aren't reducing anywhere near the amount of animal products that they think they're reducing, or the amount that people are reducing isn't enough anyway, because here we are with this report that says, hey, we've got 12 years, shit's hitting the fan, people, right? So it's not about just reducing anymore. We've got to cut this stuff out.
2010, it was actually 8 years ago. There's an article in The Guardian that said UN urges global move to meat and dairy-free diet, and then in the text there it says a global shift towards a vegan diet is vital to save the world from hunger, fuel poverty, and the worst impacts of climate change. A UN report said today. That was 8 years ago.
And they're talking about a vegan diet. They're not talking about reducing. They're not saying just cut down. They're saying this is what we need to do. So we have to listen to the science.
And if we want to be morally consistent, if we're happy with meatless Mondays and just reducing our meat consumption, then we would have to look at other forms of violence and discrimination and be comfortable with simply reducing it as opposed to eliminating it. So, you know, would we be comfortable with domestic violence-free Wednesdays, but still have, you know, people able to beat their spouses or partners the other 6 days of the week? That makes no sense at all. Or, you know, racist-free Thursdays or child molestation-free Fridays.
We just got to stop the violence.
As soon as we change the victim, reduce vegetarianism and eating less and doing less of a bad thing, it doesn't weigh up. It doesn't stack up.
Is it better than not doing it? Is it better than not making any changes at all? Yeah, of course. Reducing is better than doing it 100%, but it still doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
This is one of the green juices that does not taste good. This is a very green juice. It has kale, cucumber, celery, parsley, lettuce, dandelion, mixed greens, basil, cilantro, mint, spinach, dill, fennel, green peppers, wheatgrass, green chili, spirulina, and chlorophyll. It's called the 50 Shades of Green. So, can't wait. Love it.
Oh,
yeah, been there, done that. I used to the green juicing, the spirulina, the chlorella, the barley grass, the wheatgrass, and it tastes terrible. You know, you don't want to have it. You have it because you think it's helping you.
Yeah. And I mean, they're all good things, but you should enjoy the things that you put into your body. So take those ingredients in their whole form, not a juice, not extracting the fiber. Take it in their whole form and cook it into your meals, right? And the other thing is,
Like the morning glory that we had today, for
Yeah,
example.
it's-
You know, wouldn't eat that on its own, but mixed in with everything else,
Yeah,
it's
it's
indistinguishable. And you know, the flavour of everything else is like, beautiful.
The other thing is there are so many things that Joey is eating in one day. So one of the things that we did when we started to clean up our diet is
Was to eat simply.
eat simply. So not only did we reduce or get rid of a lot of the extra fatty foods that we were eating, like we cut all oil, we stopped all the nuts and seeds, just to give your system a total break from it.
Yeah, we now eat nuts, seeds, and avocados.
Yes.
We don't eat oil anymore. But
we reintroduced those foods later on once
that's
we
it.
healed, but
Yeah.
we just cut them all out initially. And we also just simplified it. So there are so many ingredients that and so many different things that he's had in one day. I'd be cutting that right back. I'd be eating really, really simple. So breakfast, what do you have? You have oatmeal and fruit, right? Lunch, again, you're focusing on whole grains. You're focusing on vegetables, legumes, greens, right? But simple stuff.
starchy root vegetables, white and sweet potatoes.
Same thing for dinner.
So I'm now home and I just recorded some gaming, and while I was recording I had some almonds for a snack.
So there's nothing wrong with some nuts, but it's the cumulative total of the calories from fat across Joey's entire day that is an issue for his candida.
And especially, you don't need to be snacking on nuts. You don't need to be snacking on nuts when you're trying to get over candida, because again, they're just so much higher in fat. So snack on something that is low fat.
Because remember, the problem with candida is too much fat in the diet.
Beyond Meat, the Beyond Burger. They're plant-based, they have a ton of protein, soy-free, gluten-free, non-GMO, all that good stuff.
Okay, so this is fantastic, right?
On one hand,
Yeah, well, Joey's partner was cooking dinner, and it's great that they're promoting the plant-based, the vegan burgers, Beyond Meat, which are fantastic.
absolutely fantastic. If you haven't tried them, you have access to them, please do.
But again, this is not a whole food. This is not a low-fat food. This is not something that's going to boost your immunity. This is something that we would have like once every now and again for a special treat.
Yeah, well, we're in the States 3 months, and I think you had...
I think I had it like two or three times.
Now, it is lower in fat than a beef patty of the same size. In fact, it has less than half the saturated fat, but it still contains too much fat for Joey, who's trying to overcome his candida, the root cause of which is too much fat in his diet.
And it's processed. Stick to whole foods when you're trying to heal.
Put in a little olive oil or whatever oil you want to use. So while these brown up, I'm going to put the lid on it.
Olive oil.
100% fat calories, not what you want to eat when trying to overcome candida. That was the single biggest thing, I think, removing that from my diet that helped me overcome my candida.
So for the burger topping, I cut open in avocado, and I'm going to mash it. I'm going to use a little of this seasoning.
Avocado, more fat. Again, there's nothing wrong with avocado. There's a cumulative total of all these high-fat foods.
This is the final product. Looks beautiful.
It does look beautiful. I'm glad that they're promoting a meal like this. It's just not optimal for Joey
At this
healing
point in
at this
time.
point.
Yeah.
So the final thing I'm having tonight is my dessert, which is just almond milk and some collagen, but this is lavender lemon flavored. So blended, it just tastes so good. But the collagen's really good for you. Like I said, good for your gut.
Again, that's like...
Why? What? No.
But the bones
no.
and tissues and cartilage from animals? You know, no, Joey.
No. Again,
More milk?
more
Was it
fat.
more high-fat milk?
Almond milk.
Wow. Nothing
Right
wrong with a
before
little almond milk.
Yeah.
It's just the cumulative total.
That's a
of the
lot.
fat
Right before
in
you go
Joey's
to bed,
diet.
and it's just too much. So the cumulative total of all the fat that he's eating is not going to help his candida right now. It's not going. They're not optimal foods.
Nor is it sustainable.
For boosting his immunity. Yeah, no, it's not sustainable.
He's going to start having those cravings
Of
for
course.
carbohydrates because I've said it before.
Well,
you know.
he had the brownie when he first came off the 3 weeks of not being able to eat solid foods. What did he want? He wanted a brownie. He wanted, the French fries. He wanted all those foods that just, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, been there. So we really I can empathize with Joey.
Yeah.
So Joey, I really hope the information contained in this video today has helped you. Watch it again if you need to. My explanation before about the root cause of candida and diabetes being fat. I'm going to link a video from the nutritionfacts.org website about what causes insulin resistance. and you can apply that to Candida. It goes into the same type of thing that I was talking about, but in much clearer, better detail.
Yeah. Do I have food in my teeth?
No, you're good.
I feel really bad. I feel like I've got things.
You're good.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been an information-packed video. Now the important thing is to share this so that Joey can see it and can learn from it. Oh yeah, and others too, but of course we want Joey. We want to try and help him.
Joey, if you need any help, reach out to us.
Yeah, why
no
not?
worries. We're here to help.
I don't know what else to say. I just, I hope he takes this on board, because it's a very long and painful path of not knowing and doing the wrong thing by your body.
Yeah.
And the fact that now he's gone back to eating animals. It's just so bad for animals, for other people watching that are going to be influenced, bad for the planet. We don't need this, Joey. We need you to get back on team plant-based, hopefully team vegan, and doing it the right way, doing it the healthy way.
Yeah, the proof is in the low-fat vegan pudding.
It is.
7 years Candida, now been 4.5 years Candida free.
And now you eat more, you know, you can have more fat in your diet and it doesn't affect you the same way.
Yeah.
You know, you cleaned it all out and then you just
right.
have little bits and it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Give the video a like, share it around, leave your comments down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
And make sure you ding that bell so you get notifications every time we upload a new video.
And remember until next time that going vegan is not the most we can do.
It's the least we can do. See you next video.
Bye everyone.